Hello everybody, ProtoFoxy here, coming back at you with another video, and we are on the nostalgia train. So we are talking about Unicron Trilogy release era toys. And this one here, one of my absolute favorites from the line. Probably top five. I'm starting to do like top fives from different eras of Transformers, so I'm going to do a top five of Cybertron here soon. But this is easily in the top. This is Transformers Cybertron Unicron, and as you can see, obviously he's not a planet. He is a very alien looking type tank. We'll pick him up and get some look at the detail here, but he definitely hits different beats from his planet mode. But yeah, I want to say it's based on maybe like a is that Stargate or Cylon. Cylon is the name that's hitting me right in the head right now. Cylon. I don't know, but a Cylon type tank or whatever, or something out of Starcraft. I'm getting all my sci-fi and fantasy mixed up, so my nerd card's about to be revoked. I apologize for that, folks, but he's got just that awesome alien space tank that just looks brutal. He does have all the little different bits you can see from what used to be his planet mode. You know, obviously a couple of bits here look like they're parts of the planet shell. What would have been the maw that gave us the cannon in Armada is now gives us a smaller cannon here. We have the pincers, which were from the maw there, but just different little beats, and it's definitely just a cool looking Unicron tank thing. And it's just in storyline in the show it never appeared, but it did appear in the comic books, and this was after, you know, the whole black hole situation. He emerged from it in this mode with the tank, and he was a smaller robot and just kind of rebuilding himself, that kind of stuff like that. Good little fiction bits there, you know, to keep Unicron in. But yeah, great different take on Unicron, because normally obviously the evil god of the void in Transformers is you know, a planet, but now we get a different take, and that's cool. And missile firing gimmick, and it does still work. And this is a near 20-year-old toy, which is held up really well, though there are a couple of things that make me nervous. Cyberplanet key activated gimmick we just talked about, that goes in there. We'll push that aside for you know, after we transform them, which we're going to do shortly. But just getting a look at that, and I always loved how the planet keys look. Those are neat. I definitely like them. But yeah, all in all, great looking alt mode. But let's get down to the main event. What we all want to see is the robot mode and see how this fares as a Unicron. First off, you take these pieces off, and those will serve their purpose in a little bit. So we'll take them off, pair them up, because I always just want them paired up. And well, I don't want to say won't, because actually this is you know, even though Unicron Trilogy stuff was simpler, this one is a bit more involved for the transformation, which is pretty neat. And everything is substantial here. He's definitely thinner than some of the other Unicron Trilogy toys that were released around that time. A lot of those guys were big, thick, and chunky. This guy here, he's a bit thinner, but still doesn't feel like he's going to completely break. There is one thing that makes me nervous on here, and when we get there, we'll talk about it. We got pegs here, port there. That all is very secure, and that makes me nervous. There we go. Okay, nothing broke. But I did fire a missile. Where did that land? Well then, where did that missile go? It landed somewhere. Where did it go? I'll find it later. We know the missile works. Okay, so anyway, back to transformation. Right, let's see if I can do all of this the way, let's see if I can remember it. And I did this not too long ago, but yeah, things still holding up substantially well for being a 20-year-old toy. There we go. No, maybe not. You are pegged in there, but I gotta remember how to get you unpegged without breaking you. We don't want to break you. That is something I do not want to... There we go. Just little bits of force that make me nervous, and I think it's more just due to the fact that the way toys are engineered today, using that kind of force on a toy, just flat out makes me nervous anymore. So, as I'm babbling on about that, we're going to go ahead and just get him transformed, and you're watching me do this, and hopefully you're paying attention because I'm not walking through any of it apparently. Okay, yeah, that goes... Nope, that does not do that first. I want to say... Yep, boom, there we go. Get that, aim that back down. Let's pay attention here and make sure we're not just floating them above the camera as I'm talking and then things are happening. We don't want to do that now, do we? So let's get that in there. Boom, accordion's down. Then we're going to fold that, and then fold that, and then that all kind of sets there. And then we get that opened up to pull out the hands. Come on, you bastard. Okay, boom. So that folds up, boom, just like that. Same side. And then really cool, neat little thing you can actually, you know, for playability, could be, you know, those, the pinchers, or the pincers, or however you want to call them, can be almost like arm weapons, but we're going to go ahead and just get him there. Now, the one part of this that does make me super nervous in the transformation, because this is, in fact, now why doesn't that sit flush? That's interesting. That doesn't sit flush. Interesting. I noticed, damn it. Notice something here. This, maybe it's just the way it's engineered or whatever. That doesn't sit flush. That's as far as that goes, but that one sits flush there. That's interesting. But anyway, anywho, back to what we were talking about. The thing that makes me nervous, bringing the head down, because you can see right here, this is all translucent, you know, the satellite dish right there, and you can kind of see what's going on there. Head is right there. But it still looks like it's part of the vehicle mode, whatever. But this is all translucent plastic. That is all translucent plastic. But this sounds like it's a very stiff ratchet. So bringing this down makes me very nervous. You hear it snapping. But it's not breaking. It's definitely not breaking. So that's a good thing. You turn the head around, and it is light pipe, but I don't have enough light to shine it. But here we are. Unicron in his robot mode. And, that's good looking. And I will say this, and I you know, I'm sure it's been mentioned numerous times before, but they really missed the mark with retooling or redecoing this into bludgeon, because that, you know, that is just such a beautiful head sculpt. You know, the whole skull looking Unicron thing, it just works. It's just so cool looking. And just the deco itself, you know, definitely Unicron, but it could definitely have been a bludgeon. That would have been really cool. But, you know, 2005 era articulation stuff. Nothing horribly terrible. You know, obviously the gimmicks don't impede this one as much, because I feel like they got the right bit of posability and gimmickry down when Cybertron came along. But, you know, all your typical 2005 era articulation stuff. And he just looks, you know, it's a cool design. I know some people back then were saying this definitely needed to be bigger, like at least Voyager class. I'm okay with it being deluxe class, because again, Unicron at this point, while it was still his trilogy, he wasn't the focus of Cybertron. He wasn't the big bad anymore. The black hole in Megatron was. So, and we're going to go ahead and get his accessories in. You know, the Cyber Key gimmick still plugs in and still works. Obviously, we fired the missile off, and now these here peg into his hands, and they work as handheld blade weapons. Now how? No, maybe it was. Yeah, this was. These go on the bottom, and you can see the way they were done. So they fit and hold in place, and that's like a stabby claw grabby type deal do here. And they plug in just like any other weapon would. We know how all this stuff works, do we not? But this is cool. This is definitely cool. This is definitely a great affordable option for those who couldn't maybe get their hands on. Oh, and I forgot waist swiv. Didn't mention the articulation while I was showing you, but you know, for those who couldn't get their hands on, maybe, you know, didn't have enough financial means to get the Planet Mode Unicron, the Supreme Class, because I believe those were like $50 back then. Now I know they're super expensive. This was a cool alternative, and he can still strike poses. He just looks imposing. I love this. I love the way that looks. And if we would have gotten maybe a Voyager version of this, or even a Leader version of this, I think it would have been cool. But I'm good with the Deluxe. It looks cool. And it looks really cool. I forgot how cool this toy was. I'm gushing about it. Yes, I'm already going to say I'd recommend, if you can get this toy, you get this toy, because he's definitely great. I don't know what he's running on the secondary market. I failed to look it up. I don't think it's super expensive, and I know they actually redecoed this toy slightly for the Japanese United line, is Arc Unicron or something or another, which I believe it was either United or was it Henkei? I can't recall, but it did have chrome on the end of the missile launcher there. But anyway, you can get a hold of this mold, this toy, however you can. I definitely recommend it. It is a great alternate take on Unicron. It looks good. You know, all the molded detail in there is just great. I just can't sing enough praises for this toy. He's awesome. And boy, am I glad I'm on this whole little nostalgia kick right now, because I got to dug him out and mess with him again, and he was a lot of fun. All that being said, let's spin him to the front and get a look at it. But all that being said, that is Transformers Cybertron Unicron. Great toy all around. Highly recommended. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like. If you did, subscribe my way. I would greatly appreciate it. And I say unto you this: be kind to yourself and fellow human beings, because life's too short, so play on, and I will see you in the next video. Get your hands on this toy.